How much fun is it to mix a movie in Dolby Atmos? I tell you now, it is a lot of fun. Now, I've mixed movies in 5.1. I've mixed in stereo. To mix in Dolby Atmos is something special, because now the main reason for this is that when you're mixing stereo or when you're mixing 5.1, especially for film, there's only so much you can do in terms of making what is on screen visually and audibly the same, so that you get immersed. And that is the thing with Dolby Atmos, is that you can, when watching, and I know this because I watch movies and I've got a Dolby Atmos system, and I've got one at home, I've got one here. I know, because when I do watch a movie in Dolby Atmos, I get immersed into that movie. Like, I can watch if I watch a film in stereo, I can quite easily get my phone out at points. Whereas when I watch the same movie, for instance, I watch it in Dolby Atmos, I'm there like that, because I'm thinking about everything that's moving around me as well as what's on screen. So it's as much visual as it is audible. And when from my perspective, when I'm mixing music, or when I'm mixing for film, for instance, when I'm mixing like Foley, when I'm mixing sound effects, all these sorts of things, I'm thinking so much about how visually, when someone's watching the movie, how that will translate to them, and I'm always thinking about positioning them here, watching, so that audio and the visuals are exactly the same. And it's incredible way to work. It really is, because, for instance, things move around behind you. If something moves from the front, let's say a car, for instance, comes skidding around you like that, and it goes right around you like that. Now, when that happens, in stereo, you just get like that sort of effect. It doesn't grip you in any way, shape or form. When you work in 5.1, you get it to the left speaker, and then you kind of get a jump to the back speaker, and then you kind of feel it go round a little bit, and then it jump back round over to there. Dolby Atmos, on the other hand, you get this seamless piece of audio that runs all the way around you, and it feels like there's no gaps. It feels like it moves all the way around you. And to get that, and to do that whilst mixing a movie, it's special, because it's so lifelike. And I know it because I stand here. When I'm standing here and I've got the screen up there, and I've got the movie on there, and I'm doing all these things, I've done a war movie quite a while ago, and there's bullets flying about, and it's like, and I'm firing bullets across the ceiling, front to back. All these bullets are flying around, and you can really stand in the middle, and you're like, whoa, you can feel these bullets moving around, and they feel like they're moving. It's incredible to kind of experience. And the thing with this room is, obviously, I'm experiencing it in far more detail than 99.9% of home consumers, because it's a state-of-the-art Dolby Atmos system, whereas the majority of home consumers, myself included, have a Dolby Atmos soundbar, speakers at the back, and upward firing to the ceiling, whereas I've got speakers on the ceiling, things like that. So how much fun is it to mix? I love mixing movies in Dolby Atmos, and I even if I'm mixing in 5.1, the purpose is 5.1. Like, I've got a job at the moment what I'm doing, and it's in 5.1, but I'm mixing it in Dolby Atmos, because the fold down capabilities of mixing in Dolby Atmos and folding down to 5.1 so good that you mix into a larger format and fold down to a smaller format, i.e. mixing in 9.1.4 in this room. By printing a Dolby Atmos ADM, let's say, I can upscale this mix. I can downscale it down to 5.1. I can, it's very beneficial for the client and for me to work in 5.1 and fold that down into work in Dolby Atmos and fold that down into 5.1. Now, I know myself, when I compare a mix that I can do in 5.1, and I've got it in 5.1, compared to a mix that I do in Dolby Atmos folded down to 5.1, it's almost like when I listen to it, there's a phantom center here, for instance, between the back speaker and the front speakers. There's a phantom center, whereas you don't get that with, I don't feel like you get that with 5.1. That speaker there, even though it's not active, is still filled in. It still feels like it's there. So that's one major benefit of working in Dolby Atmos, and that's why it is honestly, it is so much fun to do. Just imagine any sound that you see, anything that you see on screen, you can just make it lifelike. Think of yourself in like a dome, and everything's just lifelike. Everything is exactly how it looks on screen, is heard in the same way, and that just, it makes it honestly, it is just so much fun to do, because you make what you see on screen reality. And it's nice for me because I know what it sounds like, and I get to see some, on some occasions I get to see people's reactions to things. And when they sit in a Dolby Atmos, let's say they're sitting in a cinema, for instance, and I watch someone watching something that we've mixed, and I see them go like that, you know, they look for the audio, because you can feel the audio going around you, and they're like, whoa, and you can see that they're like, wow, this, you know, I've never got kind of goosebumps from mixing in stereo, because it's not true to life, whereas I get goosebumps every single time working in Dolby Atmos. So yeah, I mean, I love working in Dolby Atmos for mixing in film, and for mixing just music in general. It's so much more fun.